In our broadcast of The Seagull by Anton Chekhov, translated by David Magarshak, Madame Arkadina is played by Irene Worth, Nina by Zena Walker, Konstantin by Ian McKellen, Trigorin by Hugh Burden, and Dr. Dorn by Jack May.
In the park, on Sorin's country estate, a small stage has been hastily erected in front of the lake. The sun is just setting as a schoolmaster, Semyon Medvyedenko, and Masha, the daughter of Sorin's estate agent Shamrayev, sit together in the park.
Why do you always wear black, Masha?
Because I'm in mourning for my life. I'm unhappy.
Why? I don't understand. I mean, you've got your health, and though your father's not rich, he's not badly off. And my life is much harder than yours. I only get 23 rubles a month, and my insurance is deducted from that. But I don't wear mourning, do I?
Money's not everything. Even a pauper can be happy.
Well, that may be all right in theory, but in practice it's quite different. I have to provide for my mother, my 2 sisters, my little brother, and myself, and all on 23 rubles. Well, we must eat and drink, mustn't we? What with the price of tea and sugar and tobacco? Oh, what a life.
The play will be starting soon.
Yes. Nina will be acting, and the play was written by Konstantin. Now, they're in love. Tonight, their souls will unite in an endeavor to give expression to the same artistic idea. But your soul and mine have no points of contact. I'm in love with you. I long for you so much that it's impossible to stay at home. Every day I walk 4 miles here and 4 miles back, but all I get from you is indifference. I can't say I'm surprised. I haven't any private income, and I have a large family to support. What's the use of marrying a man who can't even provide for himself?
Oh, that's not important. No, I'm touched by your love and sorry I can't return it, that's all. Have some snuff.
No, thank you. I don't feel like it.
Oh, it's awfully close. I expect there'll be a thunderstorm. No, you're always holding forth or talking about money. According to you, there's no greater misfortune than poverty. But I'd 100 times rather walk about in rags and beg than... Oh, well, you wouldn't understand that.
He's Mr. Sorin.
Somehow or other, the country never agrees with me, Konstantin. And it's clear that I shall never get used to it now. Last night I went to bed at 10. This morning I woke up at 9 feeling as though my brains were glued to my skull. But after lunch I dropped off again, and now every bone in my body is aching. I feel wretched. I mean, after all...
I suppose you really ought to live in town, Uncle. Oh, I say, Masha, you two shouldn't be here now. I'll let you know when we're ready to start the play. Please, go.
Masha, ask your father to tell him to let the dog off the chain. It howls. It kept my sister awake last night.
Well, I'd rather you spoke to my father yourself. I'm not going to say anything to him, so please don't ask me. Come along, Semyon.
Oh, you won't forget to call us before it begins, will you, Konstantin?
Well, I suppose that means the damned dog will be howling all night again. It's a funny thing, but I've never managed to live as I liked in the country. I used to get leave for 28 days to come down here for a rest and so on. But the moment I arrived, they worried me with all sorts of trifles so that I wished I'd never come. Oh, I've always been glad to get away from here. But now I'm retired, I've nowhere to go, so I've got to live here.
Now, there's a theatre for you, Uncle. The curtain, the first wing, and the second, and beyond that, open space. No scenery. You look straight across towards the lake and the horizon. The curtain goes up at exactly 8:30, just when the moon rises.
Oh, splendid.
If Nina is late, the whole effect will be ruined. It's time she was here. Her father and stepmother don't let her out of their sight, and she finds it as hard to get out of the house as to break out of prison. Oh, you look an awful mess, Uncle. Your hair and beard. Oh, you should have had a trim or something.
Oh, it's the tragedy of my life. I used to look just the same when I was young, as though I were always drunk. Women never cared for me. Why's your mother in such a bad temper?
Why? Bored, I suppose. Jealous. Already she's against me, against the performance, and against my play, because Nina is acting in it and not her. She doesn't know my play, but that doesn't stop her hating it.
Oh, good Lord, you get strange ideas, don't you?
Oh, no. She can't bear to think that on this little stage it will be Nina and not she who'll shine. Mother's a psychological case. An amusing case, if you like. She's undoubtedly talented. She's clever. She's capable of crying over a book. She'll recite you the whole of Nekrasov by heart. She'll nurse you when you're sick, like an angel. But just try praising Duzay in her presence, dear me, no. Only she must be praised. Only she must be written about. Only she must be acclaimed. You have to be in raptures over her marvellous acting in La Dame aux Camélias, or Life's Dizzy Whirl. But in the country, she doesn't get this constant adulation, so she's bored. She's in a temper. We're all her enemies. It's all our fault. And then she's terribly superstitious. Afraid of 3 candles of the number 13. She's mean. She has 70,000 rubles in a bank at Odessa. I know that for a fact. But ask her to lend you some, and she'll burst into tears.
Oh, you've got it into your head that your mother doesn't like your play, and you're getting upset about it, and so on. Oh, calm down, my boy. Your mother adores you.
She loves me not. Loves me not. Loves me not. You see, Mother doesn't love me. And no wonder. She wants to live, to love, to wear gay clothes, and here am I, a man of 25, constantly reminding her that she's no longer young. When I'm away, she's only 32, but when I'm with her, she's 43. That's why she hates me. Besides, she knows I don't recognize the theatre as an art. She loves the theatre. She thinks she's serving humanity and the sacred cause of art. But to me, the modern theatre is nothing but a mass of prejudice and dead convention. When the curtain goes up, by artificial light in a room with 3 walls, these great actors and actresses, priests and priestesses of sacred art, show how people eat, drink, and make love, move about, and wear their clothes. When they try to draw some moral from those dreary scenes, some cheap, smug, cosy little moral, some moral useful in the home, when in thousands of different ways they go on shoving the same old thing under my nose over and over again, then I run like hell. Run like Maupassant ran from the Eiffel Tower, which drove him to distraction by its vulgarity.
Oh, but you can't do without the theatre, my boy.
What we want is new forms, Uncle. We must have new forms. If we can't get them, I'd rather have nothing at all. Oh, I love my mother. I love her very much. But she leads a silly sort of life, always running about with that novelist fellow Trigorin. Her name always in the newspapers. Oh, I'm so tired of it all. But I don't mind admitting that sometimes I am influenced by the egoism of an ordinary mortal. You see, I resent the fact that my mother is a famous actress. And I can't help thinking that if only she were an ordinary woman, I'd have been much happier. Now, please tell me, Uncle, could there be anything more dreadful or more idiotic than, for instance, this sort of situation? Often she has visitors, or all, every one of them, celebrities of one sort or another, actors, writers. And among them all, only I am a nobody. And the only reason they tolerate me is because I'm her son. And really, who am I? What am I? I left university my 3rd year owing to circumstances beyond our control, as they say in the papers. I've no particular talents. I've no money, not a penny. And on my passport, I'm still described as a Kiev artisan. My father, you know, was a native of Kiev and of humble birth, though that didn't prevent him from becoming a famous actor. So, as I was saying, when all these great actors and writers in her drawing room are gracious enough to take notice of me, I cannot help feeling from the way they look at me that they're just weighing up my insignificance. I know what they're thinking, and I feel pretty small.
By the way, what kind of a chap is this novelist? I can't make him out. He never says a word.
Oh, he's an intelligent man, a bit on the melancholy side. A very decent fellow. He won't be 40 for a long time yet, but he's famous and has everything he wants. As for his writing, well, what shall I say? Nice, charming. But, After Tolstoy and Zola, you'd hardly want to read Trigorin.
Well, you know, my boy, I can't help liking literary chaps. A long time ago, I wanted to do two things passionately. I wanted to marry, and I wanted to be a writer, but I failed in both ambitions. Oh, well, I suppose it must be nice to be even a second-rate writer. I mean, after all...
I think I hear footsteps. It's Nina. Oh, I can't live without her. Even the sound of her footsteps is beautiful. Oh, I'm so happy, so happy. Oh, my darling, my dearest.
I hope I'm not late. I'm not late, am I?
No, of course not.
All day I've been worried. I was so frightened. I was terrified that my father wouldn't let me come. But he's just gone out with my stepmother. Oh, the sky is red. The moon's just rising. I've been driving so fast. Fast. Oh, I'm so thrilled.
I believe I can see tears in those pretty eyes of yours. That's bad.
I'm afraid I did cry a little. Oh, I was in such a hurry. You can see how out of breath I am. I shall have to leave in half an hour. I mustn't be late.
Oh, but Nina...
No, I can't stay. I can't. Please don't try to keep me. Father doesn't know I'm here.
Anyway, it's time we started. I'd better go and tell them.
No, don't you bother, my boy. I'll go right away. In France, there are two grenadiers. Once, you know, I started singing like that, and an assistant public prosecutor said to me, "You've a very powerful voice, sir." Then he thought a little and added, "But it's rather unpleasant."
My father and his wife have forbidden me to come here. They say you're bohemians. They're afraid I might go on the stage. But I feel drawn here to the lake like a seagull. Oh, my heart is so full of you.
My dearest.
I thought there was someone there.
We're quite alone.
What tree is this?
An elm.
Why is it so dark?
Well, it's evening. Everything's getting dark. Oh, don't rush away after the play. Please don't.
I must.
And what if I came to you, Nina? I want to spend the whole night in your garden looking at your window.
You'd better not. The watchman would see you. And our dog isn't used to you yet. He'll bark.
I love you.
Oh, shh.
Who's there? Is that you, Yakov?
Yes, sir.
It's time to begin. Is the moon rising?
Yes, sir.
Got the methylated spirit? And the sulphur. When the red eyes appear, there must be a smell of sulphur. You better go now, Nina. Everything's ready. Nervous?
I'm afraid I am. Oh, but it isn't your mother. I don't mind her a bit. But there's Trigorin, and I shall feel frightened and self-conscious in front of him. He's such a famous writer. Is he young?
Yes.
His stories are wonderful.
I don't know. I haven't read them.
It's so difficult to act in your play. There are no living people in it.
Living people? Life should be shown not as it is or as it ought to be, but as we see it in our dreams.
But there is so little action in your play. Just talk. And I think there ought to be love in a play. Oh, someone's coming. We must go.
It's getting damp. Go back and put on your galoshes.
I'm hot, Polina.
You don't look after yourself properly. It's sheer stubbornness. You're a doctor and you know perfectly well that damp is bad for you, but you just want to make me miserable. Yesterday you deliberately spent the whole evening on the terrace.
Don't tell me my youth was my ruin.
You were so carried away by your conversation with Irina that you didn't notice how chilly it was. You like her, don't you?
My dear, I'm 55.
A man isn't old at 55. You're well preserved and still attractive to women.
All right. So what do you want me to do?
You're all ready to prostrate yourselves before an actress. All of you.
Once more before thee. If actors are liked in society and treated differently from, shall I say, tradespeople, it's as it should be. That's idealism.
Women have always fallen for you and thrown themselves on your neck. Is that idealism, too?
Why not? There was a lot that was good in the women's attitude towards me. What they liked most about me was that I was a good doctor. 10 or 15 years ago, you remember, I was the only decent obstetrician in the whole area. Then again, I've always been an honest man.
Oh, my dear.
Shh, not so loud. They're coming.
Oh, she acted marvelously at the Poltava Fair in 1873. Phenomenal acting. Phenomenal. I don't suppose you happen to know, Madame Arkadina, where Chardin is now? Pavel Chardin, the comic actor. He was inimitable as Rasputin. Much better than Sadowski, I assure you, dear lady. I wonder where he is now.
You keep asking me about antediluvian actors. How should I know?
Pavel Chardin. There are no such actors now. The stage is no longer what it was, madam. In the old days we had mighty oaks. All we have now are tree stumps. Eh, Doctor?
It's true there aren't many geniuses left on our stage, but I should say the general standard of acting is much higher than it used to be.
I don't agree with you, sir. However, I suppose it's all a matter of taste. De gustibus aut bene aut nihil.
When are you going to begin, dear?
In a minute, Mother. Please be patient.
Oh, Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turn'st mine eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and grained spots as will not leave their teeth.
Neighbour to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying, and making love over the nasty sty. Ladies and gentlemen, the play is about to begin.
It's beginning.
Quiet, please. Quiet. I begin. Oh, ye venerable shades that hover over this lake at night time, send us to sleep, and let us dream of what will be in 200,000 years.
There'll be nothing left in 200,000 years.
Very well, let them show us that nothing.
Let them. We are asleep.
Men, lions, eagles, and peacocks, horned stags, geese, spiders, silent fish that inhabit the waters, starfish, and creatures no eye can see, all living things, all living things, all living things having completed their round of sorrow are extinct. For thousands and thousands of years the earth has borne no living creature upon it, and this poor moon lights its lamp in vain. No longer do the cranes waken in the meadow with a cry, and in the lime groves the drone of the May beetles is heard no more. It is cold, cold, cold. Empty, empty, empty. Horror, horror, horror. The bodies of all living creatures have dissolved into dust, and eternal matter has transformed them into stones, into water, into clouds, and their souls have all merged into one soul. That world soul am I. In me is the soul of Alexander the Great, of Caesar, of Shakespeare, of Napoleon, and the soul of the last leech. In me, men's mind is merged with the instincts of animals, and I remember all, and every life I relive anew in myself.
This is something decadent.
Please, Mother.
I am lonely, lonely. Once in 100 years I open my lips to speak, and my voice re-echoes forlornly in this desert, and no one hears. And you too, pale lights, do not hear me. The stagnant marsh gives birth to you before daybreak, and you wander until dawn, without thought, without will, without a flutter of life, fearing lest life be born within you. Satan, the father of eternal matter, produces eternally a change of atoms within you, as in the stones and in the water, and you go on changing and changing. In the universe only the spirit abides, constant and unchangeable. Like a prisoner cast into a deep, empty well, I know not where I am nor what awaits me. One thing only is not hidden from me. I know that in the hard and cruel struggle with Satan, the origin of all the forces of matter, I am destined to conquer, and that after that, matter and spirit will blend harmoniously, and the glory of eternal beauty will be achieved. The kingdom of universal will come, but that will only come to pass when little by little, and after thousands of years, the moon and the bright dog star and the earth have all turned to dust. Till then, horror, horror! Here comes Satan, my mighty adversary. I can see his terrible blood-red eyes.
There's a smell of sulphur. Is that as it should be?
Yes.
But it's certainly very effective.
Mother!
He feels lost without men.
You've taken your hat off, Yevgeny. Please put it on, or you'll catch cold.
The doctor's only taken his hat off to the devil, the father of eternal matter.
The play's finished! The play's finished! Enough curtain!
But what are you so cross about?
Enough curtain! Lower the curtain! Sorry! I forgot it's only a few chosen ones who can act and write plays. I've infringed the monopoly.
What's the matter with him?
Oh, Zena, you really shouldn't wound a young man's pride like that, my dear.
What did I say to him?
You hurt his feelings.
But he told me himself that it was all a joke, so I treated it as a joke.
All the same.
Oh, well, it seems he's written a masterpiece. Well. So he's put on this play of his and nearly suffocated us with sulphur, not for a joke, but as a protest. He wanted to show us how to write and what to act. This really is getting too much. These constant attacks against me, these pinpricks, say what you like, would try anyone's patience. What a conceited, headstrong boy.
But he only wanted to please you.
So that's what he wanted, was it? Well, then why didn't he choose some ordinary play instead of that decadent drivel? Not that I mind listening even to drivel for the sake of a joke. But here we have all these pretensions to new forms, to a new era in art. Well, I didn't notice any new forms at all, but simply bad temper.
Everyone writes as he likes and as he can.
Well, in that case, Boris, let him write as he likes and as he can, only let him leave me in peace.
Jupiter, thou art angry.
No, I'm not Jupiter. I'm a woman. Well, I'm not angry. I just can't help feeling annoyed that a young man should waste his time so stupidly. Well, I didn't mean to hurt him.
There's no justification for separating spirit from matter. For may not spirit itself be only an agglomeration of material atoms? Why not write a play about a schoolmaster, sir? Now, somebody ought to write a play to show how we live. It's a hard life, Mr. Trigorin, a very hard life.
You're quite right, but don't let us talk of plays or atoms. Such a lovely evening. Do you hear? People are singing. Oh, how nice.
It's coming from the other side of the lake.
Sit down beside me, please, Boris. 10 or 15 years ago, there would be music and singing on the lake almost every night. It would never stop. There are 6 country houses on the shore of this lake. Oh, I remember it all so well. Laughter, noise, shooting, and of course love affairs. A never-ending love affair. The matinee idol and general favourite of the ladies in those days was our dear doctor there, Yevgeny Dorn. He's a very handsome man, still. But he was irresistible then. Oh, my conscience was beginning to trouble me. Why did I hurt my poor boy's feelings? I'm worried. Konstantin! Darling! Konstantin!
I'll go and look for him.
Oh, please do, Masha, dear.
Konstantin! Cooey! Konstantin!
Where can he be?
Excuse me.
Nina.
Ah!
It doesn't look as if we should go on with the play. So I suppose I can come out now.
Bravo.
How do you do?
Ah, we were charmed, my dear, charmed. With your figure and your lovely voice, it's a shame to bury yourself in the country. I'm sure you have talent. Of course you have. You must go on the stage, my dear Nina.
Oh, it's one of my dreams. But I'm afraid it will never come true.
But you can never tell, my dear. Let me introduce Boris Trigorin.
I'm so glad to meet you. I'm always reading your books.
Now, don't be so shy, my dear. He may be a famous man, but he isn't at all conceited, are you, dear? You see? He's shy himself.
Don't you think it's rather a strange play, Mr. Trigorin?
I couldn't make head or tail of it. Still, I enjoyed watching it. You played so sincerely. And the scenery was lovely. There must be a lot of fish in that lake.
Yes.
I love fishing. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to sit on the bank of a stream in the evening watching the float.
But surely anyone who has experienced the joys of creation can't enjoy anything else.
Oh, don't talk like that, dear. When people say nice things to him, he feels terribly embarrassed.
Oh, I remember in Moscow once at the opera. The famous Silva took the lower sea. Now, as it happened, the bass of our cathedral choir was in the gallery. And imagine our utter astonishment when we suddenly heard from the gallery, "Bravo, Silva." A whole octave lower. Like this. "Bravo, Silva." The audience was entranced.
Dead silence.
I'm afraid I must go now. Goodbye.
But why? Where are you off to so early? We shan't let you go.
Oh, Father's expecting me.
Oh, what an awful man he is. Well, I suppose it can't be helped. I'm very sorry to let you go.
If you knew how I hate going.
Don't you think someone ought to see you home?
Oh, no.
Oh, do stay.
I'm awfully sorry, but I can't.
Oh, poor child, I'm sorry for her. I understand how Mother left the whole of her fortune to her father. And now Nina hasn't a farthing, for he's made a will leaving everything to his second wife. Isn't that dreadful?
Yes, to do him justice, her father is a mean old rascal.
Oh, let us go too, ladies and gentlemen. It's getting damp. My legs ache.
Oh, poor darling, they're like wooden legs. You can hardly drag them along. Well, come along, you poor old man.
Yes, my dear friend, a whole octave lower. Bravo, Silva. Oh, not that he was a professional singer, mind you. Good Lord, no. Just a plain church chorister.
And what salary does a church chorister get?
I don't know. Perhaps I don't understand anything, or have gone off my head. But I liked the play. There's something in it. When that girl talked about loneliness, and later on when the devil's eyes appeared, my hands shook with excitement. Fresh, naive. Here he comes, I think. I must say something nice to him. Congratulate him.
All gone?
I'm here.
Master's looking for me all over the park. Oh, what a nuisance she is, Doctor.
I liked your play very much, Konstantin. It's rather unusual, and I haven't heard the end, but I couldn't help being gripped by it. You've talent, young man. You must persevere.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Oh, how overwrought you are. Tears in your eyes. Now, what did I want to say? What I mean is that you've taken a subject from the realm of abstract ideas. That's how it should be. A work of art ought to express some great idea. It is only the serious that is beautiful. How pale you are.
So you think I ought to go on?
Of course. But remember, deal only with what is important and eternal. You know, I've had an interesting and varied life. I've nothing to grumble about. But if I had experienced the ecstasy artists experience while creating, I should, I believe, have despised this body of mine and everything that goes with it.
Doctor.
I should have left the earth as far behind as possible.
Doctor, I'm awfully sorry, but where's Nina?
And one more thing. There must be a clear, definite idea in every work of art. You ought to know why you're writing. If you don't, if you walk along this picturesque road without any definite aim, you'll lose your way, and your talent will be your ruin.
Where's Nina?
She's gone home.
But what am I going to do? I want to see her. I must see her.
Calm yourself, my boy.
I'm going after her. I must go.
Oh, you'd better go indoors, Konstantin. Your mother wants you. She's worried about you.
Tell her I've gone away, Masha. And please leave me alone, all of you. Leave me alone. Don't follow me about.
Come. You mustn't carry on like that. You really shouldn't, you know.
Goodbye, Doctor. Thank you.
Youth.
Oh, when people have nothing better to say, they say youth.
Oh, disgusting habit. They're playing the piano indoors. We'd better go in.
Oh, please, wait a moment.
Why? What is it?
Well, I'd like to tell you... Oh, I wanted to before. I must talk to someone. I dislike my father. But I am very fond of you. And I don't know why, but I feel you're very close to me. Oh, please help me. Help me, or I shall do something silly. I shall make a mess of my life. I shall ruin it. Oh, I can't go on.
What's the matter? How can I help you?
Oh, I'm so miserable. Why, no one knows just how wretched I am. Oh, I love Konstantin.
How overwrought they all are. How overwrought. And so much love. Oh, that magic lake. But what can I do, my child? What? What?
Come on, Masha. Let's stand up. Let's stand side by side. You're 22, aren't you? Well, I'm almost twice your age. Which would you say was the younger of us, Dr. Dorn?
Why, you, of course.
There you are. And why? Because I work. Because I'm wide awake. Because I'm always active. While you just sit about in the same old place and do nothing. You're not alive at all. And another thing, I make it a strict rule never to look into the future, never to worry about old age or death. What will be, will be.
Oh, well, I feel as though I'd been born ages ago. I'd drag my life like an endless train behind me. Well, very often I don't want to go on living at all. Of course, that's all nonsense. I must pull myself together.
Tell her, oh, tell her, my flowers sweet.
Besides, I'm always well turned out. just like an Englishman. My dress and my hair are always comme il faut. Do I ever go out of the house, even for a stroll in the garden, in a dressing gown? Or with untidy hair? Never. Shall I tell you why I look so young? It's because I've never neglected my appearance. Never let myself go like some women. Look at me. I could play a girl of 15.
Of course, but if you don't mind, I'd like to go on reading. We got up to the corn merchant and the rats.
And the rats. Oh, please go on. Or shall I? Yes, I will. Give me the book. It's my turn. And the rats. Now, here we are. And, of course, for society people to spoil novelists and try to draw them into their company is as dangerous as for a corn dealer to breed rats in his barns. And yet they are undoubtedly sought after. So much so that when a society woman picks out an author she wishes to capture, she overwhelms him with compliments. She tries to meet his slightest wish, does her best to please him. Well, I suppose that may be the French way, but nothing like that happens here. With us, if a woman tries to capture a writer, she's usually head over ears in love with him first. We have no need to look far. Take me and Trigorin, for instance.
So we're happy, aren't we, Nina? I'm very happy. Oh, we're gay today, Nina. After all, we're happy. Father and stepmother have gone off to Tver, and we are free for 3 whole days.
Yes, I'm awfully happy. Now I belong to you, madame.
She looks very sweet today, doesn't she?
Elegant and charming. I never dreamt you could dress like that, Nina. But we mustn't praise you too much, must we? It might bring you bad luck. Where's Mr. Trigorin?
He's by the lake fishing.
Oh, I can't understand why he doesn't get sick of it.
What are you reading?
Maupassant sur l'eau, my dear. Well, the rest isn't interesting or true. I'm awfully worried. Tell me, what's the matter with my son? Why is he so moody and bad-tempered? He spends days on the lake, and I hardly ever see him.
He's not feeling very happy. Oh, won't you read us something out of his play? Please, Nina.
Do you really want me to? It's so dull.
When he reads something himself, oh, his eyes blaze and his face goes pale. He has such a beautiful, sad voice and the look of a poet.
Pleasant dreams.
Pyotr, dear.
Eh?
Are you asleep?
Me? Oh, not a bit.
You don't look after yourself, Pyotr. I wish you would.
Oh, I'd be glad to, my dear. It's the doctor who won't do anything for me.
Do something for a man of 60.
Why not? Doesn't a man of 60 want to live?
Very well. Take some valerian drops.
I think you ought to go to a spa, don't you? I'm sure it would do him good.
Well, why not? Let him by all means. On the other hand, he needn't if he doesn't want to.
Oh, you're a great help, aren't you?
Yes, aren't I? Well, everything is really quite simple.
I think Mr. Sorin ought to give up smoking.
Rubbish.
No, it isn't rubbish. Wine and tobacco rob a man of his personality. After a cigar or a glass of vodka, you're no longer Mr. Sorin, but Mr. Sorin plus someone else. Your personality has become blurred, and you even think of yourself in the third person, as he.
Oh, you're a one to talk. You've had a good time in your life, but what about me? I served in the law courts for 28 years, but never really lived. Well, I don't know what real life is, so it isn't surprising I want to get all I can from life. You've had all life could offer you. And that's why you're so philosophical. But I want to live. And that's why I like to have a glass of sherry at dinner, a cigar, and so on. That's all there is to it.
A man should take life seriously, but to worry about your health at the age of 60, to regret you haven't enjoyed yourself enough in your youth, that, if you will pardon my saying so, is sheer folly.
Oh, well, I suppose it's almost lunchtime. Oh, my leg's gone to sleep.
Masha, Gone to have a couple of drinks before lunch.
Oh, the poor girl's life is so unhappy.
Nonsense, sir.
You talk like a man who's had all he wanted from life.
Oh, what could be more boring than this delightful country boredom? Quiet, hot. Nobody does anything. Everybody philosophizes. Ah, how nice it is to be with you, my friends. How pleasant to listen to you. But how much nicer to be alone in a hotel room, learning apart.
Oh, it must be. I understand.
Oh, of course. Life is much nicer in town. You sit in your study. Your butler admits no one you don't want to see. There's the telephone, cabmen in the street, and so on.
Tell her, oh, tell her, my flowers sweet.
Here they all are. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Lieutenant Shamrayev.
I'm so glad to see you looking so well. My wife tells me that you're thinking of driving to town with her today. Is that right?
Yes, we were thinking of it.
I see. It's an excellent idea, of course. But pray, madam, how do you propose to get to town? I can't spare anyone to drive you there. We're bringing in the rye today, and everybody is busy in the fields. Besides, what horses are you going to have?
Well, what do I care about horses?
We've got carriage horses, haven't we?
Carriage horses? And where am I to get the collars for them? Where am I to get the collars? I must say this is really incredible. It's phenomenal. No, madam, I'm sorry, but I can't let you have horses. I'm full of admiration for you as an actress. I'd gladly sacrifice 10 years of my life for you. But I can't let you have horses.
But what if I have to go? Well, really.
My dear lady, you have no idea what it means to run an estate.
Oh, that's an old story. If that's the case, I'm leaving for Moscow today. Tell them to hire horses for me in the village, or I shall walk to the station.
In that case, I throw up my job. Find yourself another agent.
Oh, every summer it's the same thing. Every summer I'm insulted here. I shall never come here again. Never.
The nerve of the man. What cheek. Damned if I'm going to put up with it any longer. I mean, after all, get me all my horses here this very minute.
Polina. Oh, refuse a famous actress like Madame Arkadina. Isn't her slightest wish, her slightest whim more important than the whole of the estate? It's unbelievable.
But what can I do? Put yourself in my place, my dear. What can I do?
Oh, let's go to my sister, Nina. Let's plead with her not to leave. Shall we, my dear? Oh, what a brute. A real despot.
It's dreadful.
Yes, it is dreadful. Still, don't you worry, my dear. He won't go. I'll talk to him at once.
Oh, people are tiresome, Polina. Your husband ought to have been kicked out long ago. But I suppose it'll end in that old woman, Sorin, his sister, apologizing to him. You'll see.
He sent the carriage horses into the fields too, Doctor. Every day the same rows. Oh, you know how it upsets me. It makes me ill. Look, I'm shaking all over. I can't bear his rudeness. Oh, Yevgeny, my dearest, take me away with you. Our time is passing. We are no longer young. Don't let's pretend and lie any more now that we have so few years left to us.
I am 55, my dear. It's too late for me to change my life.
That's not why you refuse. You've other women who mean as much to you as I do, haven't you? You can't have them all at your house, can you? Oh, I understand. Oh, I'm sorry. You must find me an awful nuisance.
You know I don't.
I can't help being jealous. And I don't suppose you can avoid women being a doctor, can you? I understand.
What's happening in there, Nina?
Irina is crying, and Mr. Sorin has an attack of asthma.
I suppose I'd better go and give them both some valerian drops.
Some flowers for you, Doctor.
Merci bien.
What lovely flowers. Give me those flowers. Give me the flowers.
How strange to see a famous actress crying about some silly trifle. And isn't it even stranger that a famous writer should spend all day fishing and be so pleased because he's caught 2 chirp? Such a popular writer, too. A writer whose name is always in the papers, whose photographs are in the shops, whose works are translated into foreign languages. I thought famous people would be proud and unapproachable. I thought they despised the mob and used their fame and popularity to avenge themselves on it for worshipping rank and wealth. But here they cry, fish, play cards, laugh, and lose their tempers, just like anybody else.
Are you alone?
Yes. What does that mean, Konstantin?
I did a vile thing today. I killed this seagull. Let me lay it at your feet.
What's the matter with you?
I shall kill myself in the same way soon.
You look so strange. I hardly know you.
Well, that's not surprising. I hardly know you. You've changed towards me. You look at me coldly. I seem to make you feel uncomfortable.
You've been so irritable lately. Whatever I do is wrong, and it's so hard to understand you. Almost as though you were talking in symbols. I expect this seagull is some kind of a symbol, too. But I'm sorry, I don't understand it. I'm afraid I'm too unsophisticated to understand you.
It goes back to the evening when my play was such a failure, doesn't it? Women never forgive a failure. I have burnt my play, every page of it. If only you knew how unhappy I am. Your sudden indifference is awful. So incredible. It's as if I woke up and found the lake had suddenly run dry or vanished under the ground. You said just now that you were not sophisticated enough to understand me. What is there to understand? My play was a failure. You despise my work. You think I'm worthless, commonplace, like hundreds of others. Oh, how well I understand it, how well. Oh, my head. My brain feels as though it had been pierced with a red-hot nail. To hell with it. And with my pride that is sucking my lifeblood, sucking it like a serpent. Oh, here comes real genius. Trigorin, walking like Hamlet. And with a book, too. Words, words, words. That sun is still miles away from you, and already you're smiling. Your gaze has melted in its rays. Oh, goodbye. I won't be in your way.
Takes snuff and drinks vodka. Always wears black. The schoolmaster is in love with her.
Good afternoon, Mr. Trigorin.
Good afternoon. I'm afraid we should be leaving today. Events, you know, have taken rather an unexpected turn. So I don't think we're likely to meet again. It's a pity. I don't often meet charming young girls now. I hardly know what a girl of 18 or 19 is feeling or thinking about. That's why the girls in my stories are so unconvincing. I wish I could put myself in your place just for an hour to find out what you're thinking about and what you're really like.
Oh, and I wish I could be in your place.
Why?
To find out what it's like to be a famous and gifted writer. What does it feel like to be famous? How does the fact you're so popular affect you?
How does it affect me? I don't believe it affects me at all. I've never thought of it. If you really want to know, it's one of two things. Either you're exaggerating my fame, or it's something I'm hardly aware of.
But when you read about yourself in the newspapers...
When I'm praised, I like it. When I'm abused, I'm upset for a day or two.
How wonderful the world is. If only you knew how I envy you. People's fates are so different. Some live dreary, miserable, narrow lives, everyone just like everyone else, and all terribly unhappy. But others, you for instance, you, 1 in a million, fated to have such interesting, bright, happy lives. Lives worthwhile, full of significance. You must be very happy.
Me? I wonder. You talk about fame, happiness, a bright, interesting life. But I hope you won't mind my saying so. To me, all these words are like honey, which I hate. I'm afraid you're very kind and very young.
Your life must be wonderful.
Must it? What is there particularly good about it? I must go in now. I have to do some writing. I'm sorry, but I'm busy.
Oh.
I'm afraid you touched me on a raw spot, and I'm beginning to get worked up and cross. However, let's talk. Let's talk about my bright and beautiful life. Now, where shall we begin? There are certain ideas which take possession of a man's mind so completely that he can't shake them off. For instance, a man may be obsessed day and night by the thought of the moon. Well, I have my own moon. Day and night, one thought takes possession of me. I must write. I must write. I must. I must. No sooner do I finish one story than I must start on another, then a third, a fourth, and so on. I go on writing incessantly, and there seems to be no other way for it. Well, what is there so bright and beautiful about that? It's an absurd life. Even now, while talking to you, I can't forget that there's an unfinished story waiting in my room. Do you see that cloud? Looks remarkably like a grand piano, doesn't it? Now, the moment I saw it, I thought I mustn't forget to mention somewhere in my story that a cloud looking like a grand piano sailed across the sky. I catch a whiff of heliotrope. I say to myself, quick, make a mental note. A sickly smell, the widow's colour. Must mention that in a description of a summer evening. I snap up every word, every sentence you and I utter, just for the sake of locking them away in my literary lumber room. They may come in useful one day. When my work's done, I rush off to the theatre or go away to do a bit of fishing. There, at least, one would have thought I could forget my work. But not a bit of it. A heavy iron cannonball's already turning round and round in my head. An idea for a new story. It drags me back to my desk, and off I go again. Writing, writing, writing. And so it goes on, and I find no rest for myself. I feel I'm consuming my own life. That for the honey I give away to someone I don't know, I strip the pollen from my best flowers, tear the flowers themselves, and crush them under my feet. Or don't you think I'm stark, staring mad? Do my friends and those dear to me treat me like a normal human being? What are you writing now, old man? What masterpiece are you going to give us next? And so it goes on and on. Always the same thing, over and over again. And I can't help feeling that all the attention of my acquaintances, all their praises and cries of delight, all that's nothing but a piece of the most elaborate deception. They deceive me, as a doctor deceives a patient. And sometimes I'm really afraid that they may steal up behind me and drag me off to a lunatic asylum. Even when I was starting on my literary career, in those best years of my youth, life was one long, drawn-out agony. A minor writer, especially when he's unlucky, can't help feeling awkward, clumsy, unwanted. His nerves are always at breaking point. He feels drawn irresistibly to people who have some connection with art and literature, unrecognized, ignored by everybody, too shy to look people straight in the face, like an incurable gambler without money. I'd never met any of my readers, but for some reason I always imagined them skeptical and hostile. I was afraid of a theatre audience. It terrified me. And every time I put on a new play, I had the feeling that the dark people in the audience were my enemies, and the fair ones just indifferent. Oh, no, it was awful. It was simply torture.
But surely, inspiration and the very act of creation must give you moments of ecstasy and happiness.
Well, yes, in a way. When I'm writing, I feel happy, and I enjoy reading the proofs. But the moment my book is published, I'm in despair. I realize that it isn't what I wanted, that the whole thing is a mistake, that I shouldn't have written it at all. And I feel worried and rotten. Rotten. Well, the public reads it. Yes, very charming stuff, clever, very charming, but it's a long way from Tolstoy. Or excellent, but Turgenev's Fathers and Sons is better. And so to my dying day, everything will be charming and clever. Charming and clever, nothing more. And when I'm dead, my friends, as they walk past my grave, will say, "Here lies Trigorin. He was a good writer, but not as good as Turgenev."
I don't agree with you. You're just spoilt by success.
What success? I've never liked my own stuff. No, I don't like myself as a writer. The worst of it is I'm in a kind of daze and often scarcely know what I'm writing. I like this stretch of water. I like the trees, sky. I appreciate nature. It arouses passion in me and a longing to write. But I'm not just a descriptive writer. I'm also a citizen. I love my country, my people. And I feel that if I'm a writer, I must write of the people. Write of their sufferings, of their future. I must write of science, of the rights of man, and so on. So I talk about everything. I'm always in a hurry, being pushed on all sides. People prod me on, or they're angry with me. I rush about, here, there, everywhere, like a fox with the hounds in full cry after it. And I can see that life and knowledge are getting further and further away from me. That I'm lagging behind more and more, like the peasant who tried to overtake a train. So that in the end, I'm beginning to feel that all I am good for is descriptive stuff. And in everything else, I'm false. False. False to the marrow of my bones.
You've been working too hard. I don't suppose you've the time or the wish to realize your own importance. What does it matter that you're dissatisfied with yourself? Everybody thinks you're great and wonderful. If I were a writer like you, I'd dedicate my whole life to the people. But I'd realize at the same time that they could only be happy by raising themselves to my level. And I'm sure they would draw me along in a chariot.
A chariot? I'm not Agamemnon, am I?
Oh, for the happiness of being a writer or an actress, I'd put up with the disapproval of my relations and friends, endure poverty and disappointment, live in an attic, eat nothing but dry bread. I'd suffer agonies from the realization of my own shortcomings, but I'd also demand fame, real resounding fame. Oh, my head's spinning. Boris?
They're calling me. I suppose I shall have to go and unpack. Oh, Lord, how I wish I could stay. How glorious it is. What a lovely spot.
Do you see the house and the garden on the other side of the lake?
Yes?
That was my mother's house.
Oh.
I was born there. I've spent all my life on the banks of this lake, and I know every little island on it.
It's nice here. And what's this?
A seagull. Konstantin shot it.
It's a beautiful bird. No, I don't want to leave, not really. Could you persuade Irina to stay?
What are you writing?
Oh, nothing. I'm just making a note. I've got an idea. An idea for a short story. A young girl has lived in a house on the shore of a lake since her childhood. A young girl like you. She loves the lake, like a seagull, and she's as free and happy as a seagull. But a man comes along, sees her, and just for the fun of it, destroys her. Like that seagull.
Boris! Where are you?
Coming!
We're going to stay.
It's a dream. A dream.
Now, I'm telling you all this as a writer, Boris. You can use it if you like. And I'll be quite frank with you. If he'd hurt himself badly, I wouldn't have gone on living another minute. But that doesn't mean that I haven't any courage. As a matter of fact, I've made up my mind to tear this love out of my heart. Tear it out. By the roots.
Now, how are you going to do that?
By getting married. I'm marrying Semyon Medvyedenko.
The schoolmaster?
Yes.
Well, I don't see why you should.
To love without hope, to wait for years and years for something to happen. No, thank you. No. Once I get married, I shan't have time to think of love. New worries will make me forget my past. Well, anyway, it'll be a change. Shall we have another?
Don't you think you had enough?
Good Lord, no. Don't look at me like that. Women drink more than you think. A few, like me, drink openly. But most drink in secret. Yes, and it's always vodka or brandy. Your health. Oh, you're a nice man. You're easy to get on with. I'm sorry you're going.
So am I.
Why don't you ask her to stay?
No, she won't stay now. Her son's behaving rather tactlessly. First he tries to shoot himself, and now I'm told he wants to challenge me to a duel. What for? He sulks, snorts, preaches new forms of art. Isn't there room in the world for everybody? For the new as well as the old? Why get in each other's way?
Well, I suppose it's jealousy, too. However, it's none of my business. Now, my schoolmaster isn't very clever, but he is a good sort and as poor as a church mouse. Oh, he's very much in love with me. I'm sorry for him. I'm sorry for his old mother, too. Oh, well. Let me wish you the best of luck. Now, don't think too badly of me. Thank you for your kindness and your sympathy. Oh, send me your books, and don't forget to autograph them. Only please, now please, don't write to my dear, etc. But to Masha, the world forgetting. And by the world forgot. Goodbye.
Nina, what is it?
Odd or even?
Even.
Wrong. I've one P in my hand. I was trying to find out whether to go on the stage or not. I wish someone would tell me what to do.
I'm afraid it's something you'll have to decide for yourself.
You're going away. I don't suppose we shall ever see each other again. I'd like you to have this little medallion as a keepsake. I had your initials engraved on it. And on the other side, the title of your book, Days and Nights.
What a lovely present.
Think of me sometimes.
I will. I shall think of you as you were on that lovely day, remember? A week ago when you wore that summer dress. We had a long talk and there was a white seagull lying on the seat.
Yes. A seagull. Oh, we can't talk anymore. Someone's coming. Oh, let me have 2 minutes with you before you go, please.
I wish you'd stayed home, Pyotr. With your rheumatism and at your age, you shouldn't go gallivanting about. Who left the room just now? Nina?
Yes.
Oh, sorry if it disturbed you. Well, I think I've packed everything. Oh, my goodness, I'm worn out.
Days and Nights. Page 121, lines 11 and 12. Have you my books in the house?
Yes. You'll find them in my brother's study in the corner bookcase.
Oh, thank you.
Pyotr, dear, I do wish you'd stay at home.
Oh, you're going away, and I find it awfully dull here without
Yes,
you.
and what about the town? There's nothing in particular happening there?
No, perhaps not, but it'll make a change. They're going to lay the foundation stone of the rural council building and all that sort of thing. Oh, I'm fed up with this sort of life. Want to liven up a bit, if only for an hour or two. Been on the shelf too long like an old pipe. I've ordered the carriage for 1 o'clock. We'll leave together.
Very well, but don't fret too much when you come back, Don't catch cold. Look after my son. Take care of him. Get some sense into his head. Here I'm going away, and I shall never know why he tried to shoot himself. I believe the main reason was jealousy, and the sooner I take Trigorin away from here, the better.
Well, I don't know. I dare say there were other reasons, too. And no wonder. He's young, intelligent, living in the country in some godforsaken hole with no money, no position, and no future. Nothing to do. Ashamed of doing nothing and afraid of it. I'm very fond of him, and I think he's fond of me, too. But all the same, I mean, well, after all, he can't help feeling that he isn't any use here, that he's a poor relation, a dependent. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? His vanity.
Oh, what a trial that boy is to me. Oh, I wish he'd get himself a job. In the civil service or something.
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea if you let him have a little money. You see, he should really... he really does want some decent clothes and so on. Well, he's been wearing the same old coat for the last 3 years, walks about without an overcoat. And it wouldn't be a bad thing for him to have a little fun. Go abroad for a while. Well, it wouldn't cost a lot, would it?
Well, I don't know. I suppose I might manage a new suit. But as for going abroad, no, that's out of the question. I don't think I can even afford a new suit just now. I haven't any money. I've no money.
I see. Don't be angry with me. I believe you. You're such a warm-hearted, generous woman.
I have no money.
Oh, of course, if I had any money, I'd give him some myself, but I haven't anything, not a penny. Oh, my agent grabs all my pension and spends it on the estate. He rears cattle, keeps bees, and my money just goes down the drain. The damned bees die, the cows die, and when I ask for a carriage, the horses are wanted for something else.
Well, of course I have some money, but you must realize that I'm an actress. My dresses alone are enough to ruin me.
Oh, you're very kind, my dear. I respect you. Indeed, I do. Oh, dear. I'm afraid I'm not feeling well again. Oh, my head's going round. I'm going to faint and so on.
Pyotr. Pyotr, dear. Pyotr, darling. Help! Help! Help!
What is it? What's the matter?
Pyotr's fainting.
Oh, it's nothing. Nothing. Oh, it's passed off and so on.
Now, don't be frightened, Mother. It's not serious. Uncle often has these attacks now. You ought to go and lie down, Uncle.
Yes, for a bit. But I'm going to town all the same. I'll lie down for a bit and then I'll go. I mean, it's natural, isn't it?
Oh, he gave me such a fright.
Well, it isn't good for him living in the country. He frets too much. I wish you'd feel generous for once, Mother, and lend him 1,500 or 2,000 rubles. Then he could manage a whole year in town.
I have no money. I'm an actress, not a banker.
Please change the bandage for me, Mother. You do it so well.
Doctor's late today, isn't he?
Yes, promised to be here at 10, and it's 12 already.
Well, sit down, dear. You look as if you were wearing a turban. Yesterday, a stranger in the kitchen asked what nationality you were. Oh, look, the wound is almost healed. Just a little scar left. You won't do anything so stupid again while I'm away.
No,
Will you?
Mother. I did it in a moment of despair when I lost control of myself. It won't happen again. Oh, you clever fingers, Mother. I remember long ago when you were still acting on the Imperial stage. I was a little boy then. There was a fight in our yard, and a washwoman who lived in our house was badly hurt, remember? And she was unconscious when they picked her up, and you looked after her. gave her her medicine and bathed her children. Don't you remember?
No.
And 2 ballet dancers lived in our house at the time. They used to come and have coffee with you.
Oh, I remember that.
They were such pious women, weren't they? Lately, I mean these last few days, Mother, I've loved you as I used to love you when I was a little boy. So dearly and tenderly. I've no one left in the whole world now, except you, Mother.
Oh, don't.
Only why? Why are you so much under the influence of that man?
Now, you don't understand him, Konstantin. He's one of the most honorable men I've ever known.
Yet when he was told I was going to challenge him to a duel, his honor did not prevent his playing the coward, did it? He's running away. How ignominious.
What nonsense. It was I who asked him to leave.
A most honorable man. Here we are, almost quarreling over him, and he's somewhere in the drawing room of the garden laughing at us, broadening Nina's mind, doing his best to convince her that he's a genius.
You seem to enjoy saying disagreeable things to me, don't you? I think very highly of him.
And I don't. You want me to think of him as a genius? Well, I'm sorry, Mother, but the truth is his books make me sick.
You're jealous. Mediocrities who have grand ideas about themselves naturally turn up their noses at men of genius. Much good it does them, I must say.
Men of genius? I've more genius than any of you, if it comes to that. You, with your hackneyed ideas, have scrambled to the top in the world of art, and according to you, only what you do is legitimate and genuine. You stifle and persecute everything else. I don't acknowledge your authority. I don't care a damn for you or him.
You decadent, you...
Go to your precious theatre and act in your miserable third-rate plays.
Never in my life have I acted in a third-rate play. Leave me alone. You couldn't even write a cheap review. Cheff artisan. Parasite.
Miser.
Tramp. Non-entity. Don't cry. Oh, don't cry. No, you don't. Oh, my darling. Forgive me. Oh, forgive your silly mother. I'm so unhappy. Oh, please, please, forgive me.
If only you knew I've lost everything.
Oh, no, darling.
She doesn't love me. And now I can't write. All my hopes are shattered.
No, don't give up, my darling. Everything will come right. He'll be gone soon. And she'll love you again. There, now stop crying. We've made it up now, haven't we?
Yes, Mother.
Won't you make it up with him, too? You don't really want a duel, do you? Darling. The whole thing's so silly, darling.
All right. Only don't ask me to meet him, Mother.
Oh.
It will be too painful. I couldn't stand it. Here he comes. I'll go. The doctor will do the bandage.
Page 121, lines 11 and 12. Yes, here it is. If my life should ever be of any use to you, come and take it.
The carriage will be here soon.
If my life should ever be of any use to you, come and take it.
You finished packing, I hope.
Yes, yes. Why does that appeal from so pure a heart fill me with sadness? If my life should be of any use to you, come and take it. Let us stay for one more day.
No.
Let us stay.
My dear, I know what's keeping you here, but please, take yourself in hand. You're a little infatuated. Oh, do quiet and down.
You, too, should be quiet, sensible, wise. I entreat you. Look on this as a true friend. You're capable of sacrifice. Be my friend. Set me free.
Are you so much in love with her?
I feel drawn to her. Perhaps this is just what I need.
the love of a provincial girl. Oh, how little you know yourself.
Sometimes people walk in their sleep. I feel like that now. Here I am talking to you, and yet I seem to be asleep and dreaming of her. Sweet dreams. Wonderful dreams. Set me free, please.
No, no. I'm an ordinary woman. You mustn't talk like that to me. Don't torment me, Boris. I can't. I'm frightened.
But if you really want to, you needn't be ordinary. The love of a young girl. Delightful, poetic. Carrying me away into a world of dreams. Can there be any greater happiness on earth? I've never known a love like that. As a young man, I never had time. I was too busy running from one editorial office to another, trying to earn a living. But it's here, this love. It's come to me at last. It beckons me. I'd be a fool to run away from it.
You must be mad.
Oh, what if I am?
All of you seem to conspire to torment me.
Oh, she doesn't understand. She doesn't want to understand.
Am I so old and ugly that you can talk to me about other women without embarrassment?
No,
Oh, you're mad. Oh, my darling. My dear, my beautiful one. You're the last page of my life.
Huh?
Oh, my joy, my pride, my happiness. If you forsake me now, if you leave me for only 1 hour, I shall not survive it. I shall go mad. Oh, my darling. My dear, my master.
Get up. Someone may come in.
Let them. I'm not ashamed of my love for you. My treasure. Why do such a desperate thing? You want to behave like a madman, but I don't want you to. I won't let you. Oh, you're mine. You're mine. This forehead is mine. These eyes are mine. Lovely silky hair is mine.
Oh, please.
You're all mine. You're so gifted and so clever. You're the greatest of our modern writers. You're Russia's only hope.
Oh,
you have
no.
so much sincerity and simplicity, freshness, healthy humor. With one stroke of your pen, you can express what is most significant and typical of any person and place. Your characters are so wonderfully alive. One can't read you without delight. You think I'm exaggerating? Flattering you? Look into my eyes. No, please.
Oh.
Do I look as if I were lying? You see, I'm the only one who appreciates you. I'm the only one who tells you the truth. Oh, my darling, precious darling. You will come with me. Won't you? You won't leave me, will you?
I have no will of my own. I never had. Listless, flabby, submissive. No woman can possibly care for a man like me. Take me with you, carry me off. Only for heaven's sake, don't let me out of your sight for a single moment.
Now he's mine. But, of course, if you like, you can stay. I'll go by myself and you can join me later. In a week, perhaps? Why should you be in such a hurry?
No, we'd better go together.
Well, as you wish. If you really want to, then let's go together. What are you writing?
It's a phrase I heard this morning. I liked it very much. May come in useful. The virginal pine forests. So we are going. More railway carriages, stations, refreshment bars, mutton chops, talk.
I have the honour to announce with the utmost regret, dear lady, that the carriage is at the door. In time to left for the station. The train is due at 2:05. Oh, you won't forget to let me know where the actor Solzhenitsyn is now, will you? Is he alive? Is he well? There was a time when we used to go out drinking together, he and I. Oh, he was inimitable in The Mail Robbery. Inimitable! The tragedian Ismailov used to appear with him at Yelisavetgrad. He was a remarkable man, too, quite remarkable. There's no need to hurry, dear lady. You've got another 5 minutes. Once they acted two conspirators in a melodrama. And when they were suddenly discovered, his Milov had to say, we've been caught in a trap. But instead, he said, we've been trapped in a court. Trapped in a court.
I bought you some plums for the journey. They're delicious. You might like to have some in the train.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you, Polina.
Goodbye, my dear. I'm sorry. Everything wasn't quite all right.
Oh, no. Everything was perfect. Everything. Now, please don't cry.
We're growing old.
Well, we can't help that, can we, my dear?
We'd better hurry, sister, or we shall miss our train. I'm going to get into the carriage.
Goodbye, my dears. If we're alive and well, we shall meet next summer. Thank you for everything. Here's a ruble for the three of you, Yakov.
Oh, may the Lord bless you, madam. Good luck, madam.
Don't forget to drop us a line, dear lady. Goodbye, Mr. Trigorin.
Where's Konstantin? Tell him I'm leaving. I must say goodbye to him. Goodbye to you all. I've given Yakov a ruble. It's for the three of you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I've forgotten my stick. Nina, is that you? We're leaving.
I knew we'd meet again. Mr. Trigorin, I've made up my mind once for all. I'm going on the stage. I shan't be here tomorrow. I'm running away. I'm leaving everything and starting a new life. I'm leaving for Moscow, like you. We shall meet there.
Stay at the Slav Bazaar and let me know at once. Molchanovka, Grahovsky's house. I must go.
One moment, please.
You're so lovely. I'm so happy that we shall meet again soon. I shall see your wonderful eyes again, your sweet, tender smile, your dear face, your look of purity. Oh, my dear.
Mr. Trigorin. Mr. Trigorin.
I'm coming. I'm coming.
Konstantin? Konstantin? There's no one here, Semyon. Oh, the old man keeps asking, where's Konstantin? Where's Konstantin? He can't live without him.
He's afraid of being left alone. What weather. It's been like this for 2 days, Masha.
There are waves on the lake. Great big ones.
It's dark in the garden. I wish to goodness they'd tell someone to knock down that stage. Then it stands like a skeleton with a curtain flapping in the wind. As I passed it yesterday evening, I thought I could hear someone crying.
Oh, you do imagine things, don't you?
Let's go home, Masha.
No, I'm staying here for the night.
Oh, please, let's go, Masha. The baby must be starving.
Oh, don't be silly, Semyon. Nurse won't let him starve.
But 3 nights now he's been without his mother. It's a shame.
You're an awful bore, Semyon. Before we were married, you used to hold forth on every imaginable subject, but now it's only, baby, come home, baby, come home. Oh.
Let's go, Masha.
You go yourself.
But your father won't let me have a horse.
Yes, he will. You ask him. See if he won't.
Oh, well, I suppose I might as well ask him. But you'll come home tomorrow, won't you?
Oh, all right, I'll come tomorrow. Now, do stop worrying me.
Put them over there, please, Konstantin.
Very well.
Oh, what are the blankets for, Mother?
Mr. Sorin wants his bed made up here in Konstantin's study.
Oh, let me do it.
Oh, the old man's getting more like a baby every day.
I'd better be going. Goodbye, Masha. Goodbye, mother-in-law.
Oh, for goodness sake, go.
Goodbye, Konstantin.
Goodbye.
No one ever thought you'd be a real writer one day, Konstantin. Now, thank God, you're even getting money from the magazines. Oh, you've grown so handsome. Dear, dear Konstantin, please try and be kinder to my Masha.
Oh, leave him alone, Mother, do.
She's such a nice girl. All a woman wants, Konstantin, is that a man should look kindly at her. Don't I know that?
Leave me alone.
There. Now you've made him angry. Why do you pester him, Mother?
I'm sorry for you, my child.
Not a good that does.
My heart's been bleeding for you. Do you think I don't see what's going on? I understand everything.
It's just nonsense, Mother. It's only in novels you read about hopeless love. It's nothing. Oh, the only sensible thing is not to brood over it, not to sit about waiting for something to happen. If you're silly enough to fall in love with a man who doesn't care for you, then you must get over it. Oh, they've promised to transfer Semyon to another district. And as soon as we've moved, I shall forget all about it. I shall tear it out of my heart by the roots.
That's Konstantin playing. That means he's unhappy.
Oh, the chief thing, Mother, is not to see him. Oh, I wish they'd give Semyon his transfer. I'd forget Konstantin in a month. All this is so silly.
But I've 6 people to provide for now, and flour is 2 kopecks a pound.
What a life, eh, Semyon?
Well, it's all very well for you to laugh, Doctor. You're rolling in money.
Rolling in money. My dear chap, I've been in medical practice for 30 years. Troublesome practice, too. There wasn't a moment day or night when I could call my soul my own. Do you know how much money I saved in all those years? 2,000 rubles. And that I spent during my trip abroad. No, I've nothing. Now let's wheel Mr. Sorin in. There you are. And there's your paper.
Thank you.
Haven't you gone yet, Semyon?
But how can I, Masha, when he won't let me have a horse?
Oh, I wish I'd never set eyes on you.
You've made a lot of changes here. You've turned this drawing room into a study.
Yes, well, Konstantin finds it more convenient to work here. He can walk out into the garden whenever he likes and do his thinking there.
Where's my sister?
Gone to the station to meet Trigorin. She'll be back soon.
I suppose if you thought it necessary to send for my sister, I must be pretty bad. How do you like that? Here I am, seriously ill, and they won't give me any medicine.
Well, what would you like? Valerian drops, bicarbonate of soda, quinine.
Oh, there he goes again. Bless my soul, what a trial that man is. Has that bed been made up for me?
Yes, Mr. Sorin, it's for you.
Oh, thank you.
The moon is sailing across the sky at night.
I've thought of a good idea for a short story for Konstantin. Now, let me see. Yes, it will be called The Man Who Wanted To. When I was young, I wanted to become a writer, and I didn't. I wanted to speak well, and I spoke abominably. I mean to say, and so on and so forth. I this, and I that. Sometimes I'd go on like that for hours, till I was in a regular sweat. I wanted to marry, and I didn't. I always wanted to live in town, and here I am ending my days in the country, and so on.
You wanted to become a state councillor, and you did.
Oh, I didn't want to become that. It just happened.
To express dissatisfaction with life at 62 is a bit ungenerous.
Oh, what an obstinate fellow you are. Can't you understand? I want to live.
Ah, that's folly. According to the laws of nature, every life must come to an end.
You talk like a man who has had his fill. You've had all you wanted, and so you can be philosophical about life. It makes no difference to you. But even you will be frightened when your time comes.
The fear of death, sir, is an animal fear. We must overcome it. Only those who believe in life everlasting are afraid to die. What they're really afraid of is their sins. But you, sir, are in the first place an unbeliever. And in the second, what sort of sins could you have committed? Served in the Ministry of Justice for 25 years. That's all, isn't it?
28. Ah, Konstantin, come in.
I am afraid we must be interfering with Konstantin's work.
No, not at all.
Which city did you like best abroad, Doctor?
Genoa.
Why Genoa?
The crowds in the streets are so wonderful. When you leave your hotel in the evening, the streets are swarming with people. You move about aimlessly in the crowd, swept along this way and that. You live with it. You acquire, as it were, a collective personality, and you begin to believe that there really is such a thing as a world soul, like the one Nina acted in your play. By the way, where is Nina now? Where is she, and how is she getting on?
I believe she's quite well.
I was told she's been leading a rather peculiar sort of life. What happened?
Oh, it's a long story, Doctor.
Well, make it short, then.
She ran away from home and went to live with Trigorin. You know that, don't you?
Yes, I know.
She had a child. The child died. Trigorin got tired of her and went back to his old love, as might have been expected. Not that he had really ever broken with her, being such a spineless character. Managed to make the best of both worlds, and as far as I can hear, made a complete mess of Nina's private life.
And her stage career?
Her stage career was even worse, I believe. Her first appearance was at a holiday resort near Moscow, and then she went on tour in the provinces. At that time, I never lost sight of her, and for some months I followed her about wherever she went. She always took big parts, but her acting was crude with no taste. Well, now and then she'd show some talent, or she'd do a death scene really well, but those were only moments.
So, she has some talent, after all.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I suppose she must have. I saw her, of course, but she would not see me. I was never admitted to her hotel. I realized how she felt, and I didn't insist on meeting. What more do you want to know? Later, after I got home, I had some letters from her, warm, sensible, interesting letters. She never complained, but I could feel she was terribly unhappy. Every line showed how strained her nerves were. She seemed a little unhinged, too. Always signed herself the Seagull. She's here now.
How do you mean, here?
She's staying at an inn in the town. She's been there for 5 days. I nearly went to see her, but Masha's been, and she won't see anyone. Semyon tells me he saw her yesterday afternoon walking across the field about 1.5 miles from here. Her father and mother will have nothing to do with her. They've put men everywhere on their estate to make sure she doesn't get near the house. How easy it is to be a philosopher on paper, Doctor, and how difficult to be one in life.
She was such a sweet girl.
I beg your pardon?
I said she was a very sweet girl. State Councillor Sorin, sir, was even in love with her for a time.
You old rake.
Ah, they're back from the station.
Yes, I can hear Mother.
We are growing older and older, madam. Falling, as they say, into the searing yellow. But you're as young as ever. Gay clothes, vivacious, exquisite.
You want to bring me bad luck again, you awful man.
How do you do, Pyotr? Why are you always ill? That's very naughty. Masha.
So you recognized me.
Married?
Oh, long ago.
Happy? Konstantin, your mother's told me that you've forgotten the past and are no longer angry with me.
How are you?
Boris has brought you the magazine with your new story.
Oh, thank you. It's very kind of you.
Your admirers want to be remembered to you. You'd be surprised how interested they are in you in Petersburg and Moscow. Always asking all sorts of questions about you. What you're like, how old you are, whether you're dark or fair. For some reason, they all assume you can't be young. And no one knows your real name as you write under a pseudonym. You're as mysterious as the man in the iron mask.
Will you be staying long?
I'm afraid not. I'm thinking of leaving for Moscow tomorrow. I want to finish my novel, and I promise something for a collection of short stories. As you see, it's the old story. I'm afraid the weather hasn't been very kind to me. The wind's terrible. If it drops by the morning, I'll do a bit of fishing in the lake. And I might take a walk around the garden. I'd like to have a look at that place where, you remember, your play was acted. I have a good plot for a story. All I need is to refresh my memory a little.
Please, Father, let Semyon have a horse. He's got to go home.
Horse? Home? Don't you realize the horses have just been to the station? You don't want me to send them out again in this weather, do you?
But there are other horses.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the use?
I don't mind walking home, Masha, really, I
To
don't.
walk in such weather. Now, shall we play cards, ladies and gentlemen?
It's only 4 miles. Goodbye, Masha. Goodbye, Mother. I wouldn't trouble anyone if it weren't for the baby. Goodbye.
He'll get there all right. He's not a general.
Now, please, ladies and gentlemen, cards. Don't let's waste time. Dinner will be served soon.
During the long autumn evenings, we always play lotto here, Boris. Look. It's the same old lotto Mother used to play with us when we were children. Won't you join us in a game before dinner? It's not a very exciting game, but it's not bad once you get into it.
He's read his own story, but he hasn't even cut the pages of mine.
And what about you, darling?
No, thank you, Mother. I don't feel like it somehow. I'll go out for a stroll.
The steak is 10 kopecks. Put it down for me, Doctor, will you?
Certainly, madame.
Now, have you all put down your stakes? Right. I begin. 22.
Got it.
Oh, 3.
Right.
You put 3 down. Good. 8. 81. 10.
Don't be in such a hurry.
What a wonderful reception I had in Kharkov. My goodness, my head's still swimming.
34.
The students gave me an ovation. 3 baskets of flowers. 2 bouquets. And look at this brooch.
Oh, yes, now that is something. Yeah.
I wore a wonderful dress. Say what you like, but I do know how to dress.
Konstantin's playing again. Poor boy, he's unhappy.
They've been going for him in the papers, I see.
77.
Why worry about it?
He's unlucky, poor fellow. Can't find his own individual style. He writes such queer stuff, so vague. Almost reminds you of the ravings of a lunatic. Not one living character.
11.
Are you bored, Pyotr dear? Are you bored? He's asleep.
State Councillor Sorin is peacefully asleep.
7.
Do you think I'd ever written anything if I'd lived in a country house like this, by a
90.
lake? I'd have conquered this main and spent all my days fishing.
28.
To catch a perch. That's my idea of heaven.
Well, I believe in Konstantin. There's something in him. Yes, there's something in him. He thinks in images. His stories are vivid, brilliant. They affect me strongly. Great pity, though, he hasn't any definite aim. He produces an impression, and that's all. But you can't go far by just producing an impression. Are you glad your son's a writer, Irina?
I'm ashamed to confess it, Doctor, but I haven't read any of his things yet. I can never find the time.
26.
Ah, Konstantin, come in.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, Mr. Trigorin. We've still got something here of yours.
Oh, what?
You remember the seagull that Konstantin shot down? Huh? You asked me to have it stuffed for you.
Did I? I don't remember. No, I don't remember.
66. 1.
How dark it is. I wonder why I'm feeling so restless.
Oh, Konstantin, dear, shut the windows. There's an awful draught.
88.
Did you, me? My game, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, what wonderful luck that man has. He always wins. Oh, now let's go and have something to eat. Our great man hasn't had any lunch today. We'll carry on with the game after dinner. Leave your manuscripts, Konstantin, darling. Let's go in for dinner.
I don't want to, Mother. I'm not hungry.
Well, as you wish, dear. Dinner, Pyotr. Wake up. Wake up. We'll wheel you in. And I'll tell you about the marvelous reception I had in Kharkov. It was.
I talked so much about new forms. But I can't help feeling that little by little I'm lapsing into cliches myself. The poster on the wooden fence announced. The pale face framed by dark hair. Announced. Framed. It's so trite. I'll begin where the hero is awakened by the patter of rain and cross out the rest. The description of the moonlight evening is too long and too precious. Trigorin has his methods all worked out. He finds it easy. The neck of a broken bottle gleaming on the mill dam, the black shadow of the water wheel, and there's your moonlight night all ready for you. But I have to bring in the tremulous light, the gently twinkling stars, and the distant strains of the piano dying away in the still-scented air. Oh, it's dreadful. New forms, no. I'm coming more and more to believe that it isn't old or new forms that matter. What matters is that one should write without thinking about forms at all. Whatever one has to say should come straight from the heart. What's that? Can't see a thing. Who's there? Who's there? Nina! Nina! Oh, Nina. Oh, my darling, it's you. I had a feeling you'd come all day. I've been so restless. Oh, my darling, my precious darling, you've come. Don't let us cry, don't.
There's someone here.
There's no one. No one.
Lock the doors. Someone may come in.
No one will come in.
Look, I know your mother's here. Please lock the doors.
Oh, there's no lock on this other door. I'll put a chair against it. Oh, now, don't be afraid. No one will come in.
Let me look at you. Oh, it's warm here. Nice. This used to be the drawing room. Am I very much changed?
You're thinner. And your eyes are bigger. Oh, how strange it is to be seeing you. Why wouldn't you let me see you? Why haven't you come all this time? I know you've been here almost a week. I've been to your hotel several times a day. I stood under your window like a beggar.
I was afraid you might hate me. Every night I dream that you look at me. Look at me and don't recognize me. Oh, if only you knew. Ever since I got back, I've been coming here to walk by the lake. I've been near the house often, but I couldn't come in. Oh, let's sit down. Let's sit and talk and talk. It's so nice here. Cozy and warm. Oh, listen to the wind. There's a passage in Turgenev. Happy is he who on a night like this has a roof over his head, a warm corner, and a seagull. No. That's not what I was going to say. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Turgenev. And may the Lord bless all homeless wanderers. Never mind.
Nina, darling. Nina.
It's nothing. I feel much better now. I haven't cried for 2 years. Late last night I went to see if our stage was still in the park. It was still there. I cried for the first time in 2 years. And I felt much better. You see? I'm not crying anymore. And so you're a writer now. You a writer and I an actress. Well, we're right in it now, the two of us. Oh, I used to be so happy. I'd wake up like a child, bright and early. I loved you. I dreamt of fame. And now, early tomorrow morning, I shall have to leave for Ylet's 3rd class with peasants. And in Ylet's, the better tradesmen will pester me with attentions. Oh, life is sordid.
Why are you going to Ylet's?
I've an engagement there for the whole winter. I must go soon.
Nina, I cursed you, hated you, tore up your letters and photographs. But every minute I knew that I belonged to you, that my heart was yours forever. Nina, I can't stop loving you. Ever since I lost you, and my stories began to appear, life has been unbearable. I've suffered agonies.
No.
Agonies. It was as though I were an old man of 90. I prayed for you to come back. I kissed the ground you'd walked on. Wherever I looked, I saw your face, your sweet smile, which brought sunshine into the best years of my life.
Why does he talk like this? Why does he talk like this?
I'm alone in the world, Nina. I have no one whose affection can warm me. I'm cold. Cold as though I lived in some dungeon, and everything I write is dry, harsh, gloomy. Oh, please stay, Nina. Or let me go with you.
Oh, my hat, my cloak.
Nina, for God's sake.
My cab is waiting for me at the gate. Don't see me out, please. I'll find my way alone. Could you give me some water, please?
Where are you going now?
To the town. Is your mother here?
Yes, Uncle was taking ill on Thursday, so we wired for her to come.
Why did you say you kissed the ground I walked on? I want to be killed. Oh, I'm so tired. I want to rest. Rest. I'm a seagull. No, that's not it. I'm an actress. Yes. He's here, too. Oh. It doesn't matter. No, he didn't believe in the theatre. He was always laughing at my dreams. And little by little, I stopped believing in them. Lost heart. Besides, I had the worries of love to cope with. Jealousy, anxiety over my little one. I grew trivial and cheap. I acted badly. I didn't know what to do with my hands, how to stand on the stage, how to control my voice. Oh, you've no idea what it feels like to know that you're acting so badly. I'm a seagull. No, that's not it. You remember? You shot a seagull. A man came along, saw it, and just for fun, destroyed it. An idea for a short story. Oh, no, I don't mean that. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about the stage. I'm different now. I'm a real actress. I enjoy my acting. I revel in it. Oh, the stage intoxicates me. I feel that I'm unequaled. But now, while I've been here, I've been walking about and thinking. And feeling that my mind and my soul are growing stronger every day. Now I know. Now I understand that in our calling, whether we act on the stage or we write, what matters is not fame, nor glory, nor the things I used to dream of. No. What matters is knowing how to endure, knowing how to bear your cross and have faith. And I have faith. And it doesn't hurt so much now. And when I think of my calling, I'm no longer afraid of life.
You have found your path. You know which way you're going, but I'm still whirled about in a maze of dreams and images without knowing what it is all about or who wants it. I have no faith. And I do not know what my calling is.
Shh. I'm going. Goodbye. When I'm a famous actress, come and see me in a play. Promise? Well, now it's late. Oh, I can hardly stand. I'm worn out. Famished.
Stay and have some supper. Please,
Oh,
do.
no, thank you. I can't. I can't. Don't see me off. I'll find my way alone. So she brought him with her. Well, it doesn't matter, really. When you see Trigorin, don't say anything to him. I love him. I love him more than ever. An idea for a short story. Oh, I love him passionately. How beautiful everything was before. Do you remember? What a bright, glorious, happy life. Do you remember? Men, lions, eagles and peacocks, horned stags, geese, spiders, silent fish that inhabit the water, starfish, and creatures no eye can see. All living things. All living things. All living things, having completed their round of sorrow, are extinct. For thousands and thousands of years, the earth has borne no living creature upon it, and this poor moon lights its lamp in vain. No longer do the cranes waken in the meadow with a cry, and in the lime groves the drone of the May beetles is heard no more. Goodbye. Goodbye.
I hope no one sees her in the garden and tells Mother. It would upset Mother.
The door seems to be locked. An obstacle race.
Put the claret there, and the beer for Mr. Trigorin on the table, please. We can drink while we play. Come on, sit down, everybody, please. Bring the tea at once, Yakov.
Here's the thing I was telling you about. Your orders, the stuffed seagull.
Don't remember. Don't remember.
What was that?
It's nothing. I expect something must have gone off in my medicine chest. Please, don't be alarmed. Just as I thought. A bottle of ether has gone off. Once more before thee I stand enchanted.
Oh, heavens, what a fright that gave me. It reminded me how... Oh, dear, for a moment everything went black before my eyes.
Well, now, to our cars.
There was an article published here about 2 months ago, Trigorin. A letter from America. And I meant to ask you about it, as I'm rather interested in this question. Get Madame Arkadina away somehow. You see, Konstantin has shot himself.
The Seagull, by Anton Chekhov, was translated by David Magashek. Madame Arkadina was played by Irene Worth, Nina by Zena Walker, Konstantin by Ian McKellen, Trigorin by Hugh Burden, and Dr. Dorn by Jack May. Masha, Barbara Mitchell, Sorin, Ronald Herdman, Shamrayev, Victor Lucas, Polina, Marjorie Westburt, Semyon, Anthony Jackson, and Yakov, Bernard Brown. The play was produced by Charles LeFaux.
The Seagull will be broadcast again on the 8th of March.